Hello, my lovely 8th graders. Today we are going to talk about AE 1.1, and the reason being is because on your mock EOGs, only 31.6 of you, or that was 31.6 was the average on this objective, so we definitely need to bring that up. So first, let's talk about the water properties, okay? When we talk about water properties, we have polarity, meaning that there's positive and negative charges on the water molecules. Think of poles on a magnet, okay? We next have cohesion. When I think of cohesion, it has co in there, as in like a corporation or something doing something together. Well, cohesion is water sticking to itself. Whereas adhesion, I think of adhesive tape, it's sticking to something else. So again, cohesion is water sticking to itself. Adhesion is water sticking to something else. Then we have surface tension with like bugs walking across water because it's almost like the surface of the water is pulled nice and tight for them to do that. When we talk about density is just pretty much how heavy something is in the amount of space that it takes up. And water is kind of silly when it comes to density because for most things, the solid form is more dense than the liquid. But we know that's not true because if you ever put ice cubes in a glass of water, the ice cubes float, meaning that they're less dense. Then we have high specific heat. So in science terms, that's what it takes to raise 1 gram of water 1 degree Celsius. But really, in normal people terms, all that means is that it takes water a long time to heat up compared to other substances. And if you ever cook anything, you know that if you put oil in a pan and turn the pan on, that oil is going to warm up really, really quick. So if you ever want to fry something, usually you have to keep the temperature really low. Versus if you have a pan full of water, it takes a while for that water to boil because water has a high specific heat. All right, the next thing we need to talk about is salt water versus fresh water. This part's pretty easy for you guys to remember. Most of the earth is salt water, the most meaning 97%, whereas 3% is fresh water. But most of that fresh water is frozen in ice caps, so leaving only 1% that is potable, meaning that is drinkable for us. Something we haven't really touched on, but I do want to make sure you know, are hydrothermal vents. Okay, a hydrothermal vents, they're deep down on the ocean floor. And what they are is it's a fissure or a crack in the floor of the ocean. They're usually found by volcanoes and where there's a lot of activity. And underneath them, the water is heated up from all the magma deep in the earth. And they just kind of shoot that hot water out of them. Then we have an aquifer, okay? So an aquifer is really just underground water. You can see in the little pictures this nice blue little chunk here. And you all had a question on your mock EOG that didn't go over so well. But aquifers actually have really clean water. And the reason being is because as that water seeps into the ground, it has to go through a bunch of permeable rocks and soil that helps to purify the water. And then it's contained underground, so it's not exposed to all of the pollution that we put out into the atmosphere. Which, again, I kind of just summed up in this slide. So aquifers are clean because they're purified from rocks and soil deep inside the earth, and they're kept away from pollutants. All right, next we have a river basin. Okay, we all live on a river basin, and it's just land that is drained by a river and its tributaries. And all water, the final destination is going to be an estuary or an ocean. Okay, a watershed is just like a river basin. The only thing is it's not necessarily going into a river. It could be going into a smaller stream. I hope this helps.